Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Ooh. Okay. Here we are on the live streaming. And yes, tonight let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Okay, so tonight we'll talk about sex. Why the hell shall we not talk about sex? I think this is the best ever. The best ever live stream that I'm giving is tonight, actually. You know, I'm really, I'm ready for it. Yes, well, for anybody that missed the first beginning of the streaming, if you missed it, then you have to check it out later, or maybe you can still watch it. I don't know how slow the live stream is, but anyway, I sing a little song in the beginning, so you should check it out later. When the video is online, when the live stream is online. But now we are live. Now we are live. We are alive, and we have longings. We want stuff. So let's talk about that tonight. Let's talk about the things that we really want, because in the end, everything is about the desires, the physical desires, the sexual desires. Everything in the end is about sex, and it's about satisfaction. Because I can't get no satisfaction. And that's why I'm wearing my new glasses, because then I can see everything much clearer. And it's a very serious topic, so I thought at least then I can see everything very clear, and also, yeah, it's needed. It's very needed. I need it because it gives me clarity. It gives me clarity in my life, especially about the things that are very close to me, which is, yeah, everything that's in front of me right now. And it's also you, even though I don't really see you physically, I can really see you I can just imagine. I just look into the camera and I just imagine that you're there listening to the live stream. And that's also all we do. We imagine everything. We imagine fantasies, we imagine lovers, we imagine how we will have sex, or if we would be in a relationship, how it would be like, how it would be like to be together, how would be the physical chemistry, how would the sex will be, or how was the sex, and what is truly important in these things. You know, it's usually very basic. The focus is on just wanting to be loved. You want to be loved. We all want to be loved. And we think this comes from a partner. We think this comes from someone. It comes from somewhere. And it can be really great fun to share it with someone, and to share it with in a place somewhere, I don't know where, maybe just in your home, or on a holiday, or wherever. But the thing is that there's so much more than sex. But of course, that's not what you want to hear. Anyway, it's totally normal. Everybody thinks about it. Everybody speaks about it. It's just, it's something that is so normal that it became like vulgar. It became like nee, Jinx. Nee. Look, here. It's Ginger. Ginger wants to be part of this talk too. Huh? Don't you want to be part of this talk too? Oh, fuck, you're in front of my mic. Nah, yeah, you can be here, Jinx, no problem. Kekis, hello. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Well, you can see I'm a little bit frustrated. I'm a little bit annoyed, but it has nothing to do with sex or having sex or not having sex. It has to do with creativity. But that's also very interesting, because to me, sex or making love, sharing that physical, and usually not just physical, but mainly also energetic exchange and dynamic, is very creative. It's very much connected to the creative strength of our beings, of our trueness, of our awakeness. And when you connect on a deeper level, when you connect on the level where you really feel equal in a way, and also really honest, like, being sexual is so beautiful. It's so raw, pure, naked, literally naked, but also energetically naked, vulnerable and strong at once. It has such a unique strength that once you allow yourself to connect with this pureness, to connect with this rawness, and usually there are lots of things happening. You get into a different flow. Everything physically starts flowing. You feel energized. I mean, you can always see it with people that you know, and that maybe they didn't have sex for a while, and they were looking a little bit like a bit dull, and all of a sudden you see them all sparky and everything, and then, well, it's very possible. Or you can ask, you say, yeah, you did have sex, right? You look so good, you're so energized. So it's an energy, and the energy is the same like, no, it's not the same, but it's the same like with money. We think like money is everything. Money is very important. I need money. Where is my money? But money is energy. It's energy that we can. It's a means. It's something that just gives possibilities. Like everything is a possibility. Just the fact that we give it so much value becomes like unequal. It becomes like, yeah, out of balance. Everything becomes out of balance. And we are trained in society and through media and economy to become slaves of the deceptive interpretation of the eyes and mind. I'm reading this because I wrote this down the other day. And that's why we suffer. We suffer because of the deceptive interpretation of what we think we see, and of what we think and the value we give to our thoughts. That's what happens. So if you want to talk with me live, you can do this. You can do this through Skype. My Skype address is LiGiLive. I have my telephone just behind my computer, and you can call me and ask me questions about this topic, about yourself, about how you relate to sexuality or intimacy. All these things is very possible. So you can take that chance. Don't be vulgar, because this is not a place to be vulgar or rude or to shock me or others, because this is not the place to do this. You can go and get, I don't know, porn or other kind of very vulgar ways to be busy with the frustrated energy of sexuality. You can get it anywhere. This is a genuine energy. This is a genuine sexuality talk. So you're very welcome to join this. And also, if you want a one-on-one guidance about topics like this, you're also very welcome, and you can book a session or say whenever you would like one by writing me an email, which is below the video. By the way, next Friday there is a possibility to join the group session from 8 until 9 o'clock Dutch time. So if you want this, just write me also an email and I can give you the details. It's a small group where we can connect with each other and where we have the safety of an online group by using Skype. What I know and what I've heard also many times when it comes to sexuality and in relationship to or yourself or others is that it can many times be charged with frustration. Many times sexuality becomes a frustrated energy. And usually it's connected to desires that usually are not fulfilled or that are not realistic, and then it becomes transmitted, or it can become transmitted through sexuality, to be actively sexual with yourself or with others. And that is kind of it's abusing creative force. It's abusing the ability of yourself to generate what you truly, deeply long for. It has nothing to do with that you cannot be sexual. It has to do with the fact that you might feel frustrated or isolated, and then frustration can transform into sexual frustration, and sexual maybe also sometimes anger. And it creates a bigger separation. It creates more suffering. It creates a tension physically and energetically in your body, in your whole system. It creates a distance towards yourself, to the relationship you have with yourself, and also towards others. It's energetic. It can become like a destructive bubble where it's hard to allow a certain feeling of vulnerability, openness, for intimacy, just plain, very basic, day-to-day intimacy, in day-to-day day-to-day situations where you can just connect with people. Okay, what is Marcus saying? I might want to talk. I'm not sure if it's a good idea, but I think I'd like to talk with you about that. Sex and creativity and being in this moment. Okay, Marcus, that's good. That's fine. You can talk. You can call if you want. Just make sure that YouTube audio is off. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's a very important topic to talk about. Hi, Nasser. Welcome to the streaming. Okay, I think Marcus is calling. No, not yet. Okay. Even if you are not really busy with it, even if you think that you are maybe asexual, which is also very possible, then you can also reframe sexuality, because sexuality is actually, yeah, it's much more than just physical. It's much more energetic. And you can reframe it more to like intimacy. Hey, hello. Hey there. Hi. Yes, I can hear you. I'm just putting the volume a little bit lower so I can hear you and the others can hear you. Okay. Hi. Hi. Wait. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah, like this. Yeah. Yeah. Hi there. You really look like a teacher. Yeah, I am. Yeah, you didn't know this part of me. Very strict teacher. I used to look like this. Like, yeah, like really long ago, I had glasses, original glasses from my mom. They were like glasses from the 50s or so. No, yeah, 50s or 60s. And they were sunglasses, but the brown glasses, and they were like a bit like bigger, like wider. This was bigger. And I've turned them into my very first, but they were also like this, you know? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm so nervous, you know, because, and when I saw like the title of the stream, I was like, oh no, so please talk about everything, but not about this, you know. Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose, but I know that this, I don't know, it just came up. I think also because today, like I wrote you in the email, I didn't have a very good day today, and sometimes that helps also to let things come out, like you know, what the fuck, I don't care. I feel like doing something different, and I do feel good with this. I notice now. Yeah. To just bring it out raw and you know, like be real. Just to. Yeah. This is life. Yes. I mean, yeah, I agree, and
yeah, I really feel like I think the same way, and yeah, it really, wow, it's like it hits me to the core or something, you know, like this creativity and the sex and spirituality, like these three things are very like a triangle for me, maybe, you know, because for me also like creativity, like I'm yesterday I had a band practice with my drummer, and I was very, like the whole day I was so angry, so frustrated before that, like in the morning, and but in a good way, I think, because I really could let out the anger, you know. I just accepted that I was really angry, and I just felt this anger, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just taking you because I'm not sure if the volume is good. So I'm just putting you a little bit more close to my speaker.
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah.
That looks strange, but okay.
I do it like this. I do it a bit like this. Sorry.
Looks very uncomfortable for you.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and today I kind of, well, yesterday I had a discussion with my drummer, and like we noticed that we are very different. I mean, we are very similar in a way, because we both have very high expectations and very like in this control mode. But also I'm like this very creative person, and I just know that I don't really have control over writing a song, you know, and he's like very structured and like the opposite kind of, and today I just told him that I can't work with him, and that's just one thing, you know. I was like kind of sad and frustrated about the fact that, yeah, maybe this is still like my pattern, or I don't know, and yeah, and like I just really have the feeling that I get more mature in being in this moment, you know, and like putting the priority to the moment. But then again, I just read something like this title, Let's Talk About Sex, you know, and I'm just like, I forget about that everything is okay in the moment, you know.
Yeah.
And
what happens?
Like, what happened?
What happens then?
Yeah, well, then when you talked about like being in a relationship and having sex and like this, there came up this like this desire to be in a relationship and to have this, and yeah, kind of, I feel like again, like it's so important to be in a relationship, you know. It's so important to have sex, and then everything is gonna be great for me, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did you say that you don't want to work with this drummer anymore?
Because you also talked about creativity and.
You know, but why did you decide to not continue with him?
Because I felt like that that he put a lot of pressure onto me. Like he wanted to. Well, he expects like that my songs are kind of finished, and when we practice together, and that we have like gigs soon. And I was just like, I don't want to have this like my music is very precious to me, I think, and I'm not sure.
But is he? I understand that it's important to you, and it's probably feels also vulnerable. But isn't the guy in a way representing a big part of your thoughts, of what's happening in your mind, the way you are expecting everything from yourself, how you should be perfect, how you should be already have everything perfectly finished, why you are not yet a very well-known artist, or all the expectations that this guy has. I'm not saying that he is. I'm not judging anything about him, but it's just interesting to see that you get together with someone that is actually exactly like what's going
like
on,
me.
like what's going on inside of you, in your mind.
I mean, but I think that's just the reason why I couldn't do this with him, because I have enough of this in my head, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, I thought, like, no, I don't even want this anymore. What I want is to be an artist that really feels, you know, and
Does it feel abusive to continue, if you would continue in such a situation?
what do you mean?
Abusive to you, towards yourself, if you would continue in making music with this guy?
Abusive? Well,
Because you are going, you are in a way crossing boundaries, your boundaries.
Yeah, that's how it feels. That he was crossing my boundaries.
Yeah, but you are crossing because of that your boundaries. If you would continue with this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening in my mind, you mean? Or with him? Or...
No, both. Both. It's a reflection of your mind.
So if I did continue with him, that would have been kind of, for me, would have been abusive.
That was my question. Yeah.
Well, this, you know, might be. I didn't think about this yet like this, because I didn't. Abusive is like a word that it's a good input. Like, I didn't. It's very extreme for me, but that might be a good description. But I didn't thought about it like that. I just thought. Well, actually, I think I thought like I was like a bit. I felt kind of bad about it. Like, am I a bad person? Like, quitting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I like, I don't know, doing the right thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was, and because I want the music to be some kind of enjoyment for me, and I don't want this to be just like this work or pressure. It has to be something very good for me.
Yeah, so you chose to stay true to that, to yourself in a way.
Yeah. And he's a very nice guy, and like his response was like so sweet in a way. Like, he's sad about it, but if I change my mind, then I can ask him again, and if I'm like kind of famous on my own, I don't know, then he will be a fan,
Yeah.
That's like,
yeah.
like that was a very nice response.
Yeah. Okay, so because this also touches the subject, I think, in a way, because it's about staying true to yourself in relationships, in friend relationships, and in more intimate relationships. But actually, it's about staying true to yourself. So, sexuality is actually, well, I'd like to make the connection with intimacy, because sexuality to me is, it's not the same as intimacy. And intimacy is something that is everywhere. It's right here in talking with each other. It's in, yeah, everything is intimate in life. Sexuality is also intimacy, but it can also be very, very shallow. And that's what I was speaking about just in the beginning, that mostly the focus is on the shallowness, and only in like getting pleasure and getting satisfaction, getting orgasms or giving orgasms or whatever. And that's not what I mean about sexual or intimate relationships. Intimate relationships where maybe sexuality is or becomes a part of, is really has to do with listening, aligning to yourself, to what's going on inside of you, and also in connection with others. And I don't know, I know that you are not having a relationship now, but that's the thing with, I mean, my brother doesn't have a relationship either, and he would love to have a relationship. So it's a lot on his mind. He's very busy with it. He would love to have a relationship and have sex and be intimate and all these things. So even if things are not happening for us, usually it is, we are busy with it.
Yeah. I don't even... Yeah, I am busy with it, but I mean, one time you sent me this very cool movie, about this Jewish guy.
Yeah, the Jewish boy, yeah.
Wolkenbruch.
Did you know the English title was The Awakening of Wolkenbruch or something? Yeah.
No.
I didn't. It's really funny.
I only saw the German title.
Yeah.
Also very funny, but I can't really remember. But yeah, I'm very ashamed of sex. Like as if it's something bad.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting to have sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That sounds so like I never really knew this even, because I grew up in, well, I thought that I grew up in some kind of society where this is already, like everyone is like, yeah, it's sex, it's okay, not like in the 60s or something like this, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I feel like I'm someone from the 60s, who's like, like completely embarrassed and ashamed of this completely normal thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it has very much to do with the overall fact that you're not very much in your body. You're not very grounded, not grounded at all in your body. And I think your sexuality actually appears mostly when you're creating music. That's what I see and hear and experience when I hear your music. So sexuality is like, it's, we can speak about it in a very physical sense, but it actually is a creative force. So that you can start to realize that it's not maybe so needed to focus on, okay, it makes me feel uncomfortable, or it's something, sexuality is something that is something that feels far away, but actually it's not. It's here, it's really present. And when you, well, like, that's why I said, when you said I don't want to continue working with that drummer, it may seem like insignificant, but it's an important thing to recognize, that you're saying to yourself, I am worthy. I this is not what I need in an exchange, in a creative exchange, but also sexually in a way. It's intimate, it's important, it's energetic.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's wow. I really understand a bit more about my music and why it's so important to me, and why it's so intimate for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I still have a hard time sometimes to really allow myself to really open up in singing and playing music, like as if I'm having sex and I'm like, oh, I have to be very quiet, and like we were like practicing some kind of unfinished songs, and he's also like he's very quick with criticizing,
Yeah, makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
It's like, and I immediately closed down, like, and this, like I'm kind of trying to open up, or I'm opening up with my music, with my singing, and someone criticizes me. It's like
yeah, but it's very interesting, because that's what you create unconsciously. You create someone that appears in your life that is exactly like your inner critic.
Yeah.
But then it's also outside of you, and then of course you start to feel like, yeah, but I don't really like this. So it's good to recognize that you make a distinguish. You can make you can see that the difference. And experience it. Marcus, I'm getting a little bit heavy arms because I'm holding the telephone all the time.
Okay.
I don't know. Shall we maybe continue this talk another time?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want, you can write. I don't know if I put the camera back, if we can still hear you.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can try it out. I don't know.
Yeah, but we can't really check it.
Yeah, like whatever. Like you have to decide this. I don't know.
Okay, but maybe you, if you want about this, you can write it to me on the Skype, and I can still answer you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really just about like the situation, like yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I already feel like rejected, kind of.
Yeah, but that's not what it is. I can't hold the camera like this.
Yes, sure. Okay,
yeah?
okay.
Okay. So speak to you
Thanks.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Okay. Pavel says, hey, sexy, your brother should give me a call. Okay, why? Because he wants a girlfriend? Maybe he knows you know a nice Finnish girlfriend for him. Ah. Nice that you're here anyway, Pavel. Yeah, so sexuality, like with everything, has to do with with authenticity, with what's really true for you, with what is really important to you, and to stay true to that. And that is so many times, I mean most of the time, in intimate relationships, that is where we cross our boundaries, and many times also other people their boundaries. So how to stay true to that? That is to learn to recognize your true desires, your true longings, not just your true needs, but your true desires. What is it that you really long to experience? And is it in alignment with someone else? Is it in creating your music the way you really want to create it, this authentic creation? Because that creating energy is just as fulfilling, or maybe even more fulfilling, than when you are in an intimate relationship and having physical, sexual exchanges. That's why artists, they compare it also, creating their music, creating art or other forms of art, they compare it to, you know, infinite divine orgasms, because sexuality is much more than the physical experience. It's much more than getting close with someone and sharing that dynamic. Once you start to connect on that level, on a level where you really truly feel aligned with yourself, you can also get aligned with somebody else. And then, well, you can call it a tantric experience, you can call it, it goes beyond the physical. It is a physical, energetic exchange that is beyond explanation. It's like mystery. It's like beyond orgasms. It's kind of this flow where you forget everything. And that's also what can happen when you make music, when you write poetry, when you dance, when you sing, or create films, or you're a director, or I don't know, whatever kind of creative job or aspirations you may have. But that's where it is. That's where it is happening. So we are mostly blind for this, because we're so focused on getting something. We want to get orgasms, we want to get fulfillment, but we all know that this orgasm is just so fucking temporary. It's over in a few seconds. So that's not where the fulfillment lies of sexuality. Sexuality is really about connecting with yourself in a most honest, sincere way of what fulfills you, what yeah, enchants you, where you really say like, yes, this is it, this is where I feel alive. And you know, I am in the position in my life, I don't have a relationship, but I have loving friends, I have loving family members. I have some relations that are very intimate, but they are not on that physical level. But to me, that is beautiful, that's fine. It's not so important. Of course, sex is nice. Sometimes I wish I could just have sex without the complications, like most men can just go and have sex without any complications. I mean, for women, this is much more different. You know, there are men who find it very hard when you say, yes, darling, that was very nice. I had a wonderful time. Now, I will see you, I don't know when, maybe in a few weeks, we'll connect, or I'll give you a call. It was wonderful. Thank you, darling. Bye-bye. That's not what men and people are used to, but I'm speaking from my side as a woman. Then there come expectations about I start to feel things for this person. When you feel like somebody's putting boundaries, that's what usually happens in the reverse situation, when women are with men, or I don't know, it doesn't matter, man and women. It's just about that there's always someone, usually there's someone that is more able to put boundaries. So I'm speaking about a situation where a man puts boundaries, and he says, and you are having an intimate, you're lovers, and you just have been making love, and then it's not really like a fixed situation, and then the man says, yes, I'm going off, and yeah, I have to travel, blah blah blah, and the woman is there, and she also has her life, but she feels a little bit like, yeah, okay, this was just it, and now I have to wait for the man to take initiative. But that's a very common pattern in Western society. But the opposite, like if that would happen to, like if a woman would put these boundaries towards a man, then that would be very different. And that's it's a new kind of exploration. And sex is not my focus, to me personally, but it's pleasant, and it can be nice to have this sometimes, and to have it with someone that you like, that you enjoy, and that you can also align with, because just pure sex and just plain physical exchange is not really what I'm looking for. So that's why I don't have a relationship. And also because the attachment usually grows so quickly, and the projections also come right away when this intimate relationships grows, and projections immediately come over it. And then you start to have the situations where people start to project, and they start to want things from you, or you want things from someone that are not real, that they are yeah, have nothing to do with that person. That other person can't give you anything. It's all a matter of you want something from that person, that making love or being intimate with the other person triggers this. And so it requires really true honesty to see that it's happening inside of you. That's why I was saying to you, Marcus, that it's good that this situation with the drummer that you were working with, that you start to feel uncomfortable with this, and that you feel a boundary of is this like unpleasant to me, and that has nothing to do with physical relationship or sexually being involved with someone, but boundaries are continuously things that we have to deal with, that rise in our body, that rise in the situation that you are experiencing. So continuously we are challenged to stay true to ourselves and to recognize our boundaries and our true needs and longings. So there's time for people, if you want to ask questions. If you want, you can ask questions. You can send them through Ligi Live on Skype or here on the chat. Why is this? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've been talking a lot, and Marcus was talking a lot, but Marcus, you didn't write me anything anymore, no? Did you? Well, you are writing. Okay. So this is quite a nice topic, I feel, and it's very good to explore, and it's also very good to reflect on this for yourself. How is it for you? I know there's people that are asexual, and I think, I don't know, because I'm not an expert and I never really explored what it means to be asexual, but I think well, I can only speak from what I experience. I think that being asexual may mean that you're not really busy with the physical sexuality. Oh, the streaming is not very good. Why is the streaming not good? but you can still experience intimacy, and intimacy can be like holding hands, touching each other's, just body, sitting close to each other. There's so many ways, looking into each other's eyes, listening to each other's voice. There's so many ways in which we can experience intimacy. And children are very good in this. Children know what it is like to experience just intimacy, because they are very intimate. If there's a child that I babysit on sometimes, he just comes to sit with me and is physical, because he's playing and he's going with the little cars that he's playing with, and it is not busy with being sexual. It's just the intimacy. It's just being physical. That's what it is. I think that's what asexuality is also about. It's great. The situation completely feels like someone puts a knife in my heart. Really, really painful. And then it's great, all the things you say. There come so many things to the surface. I'm completely afraid of intimacy. Yeah. Thank you, Marcus, for sharing this. And I think you're not alone in this. It's very, very much something that so many people are afraid of. I remember that there was quite some years ago, when I was not so long living in Holland, there was someone that I saw, to me it was a friend. It was an interesting connection. And I came from Portugal, and in Portugal we all hug each other and we're very physical, and so I was always hugging everyone. I still do, but then also, and so I was hugging him, and I started to feel that after a couple of times that we met, that he started to feel really uncomfortable. Like I really wanted to give him a nice hug, full of love and warmth and care and true love, But then he was really like, ooh, So what happens, or what can happen, is when you really long to be with someone, and someone is like, it's just happening in your life that somebody gives you attention or love or hug, or just is listening to you, that we can feel unconsciously that we push this away, that we push this shape of love away, because actually it triggers us, and it triggers actually that we feel so uncomfortable with ourselves, so unloved with ourselves. So when somebody else comes and he or she wants to, is just giving this freely without even expectation, or maybe also with an expectation, but maybe not. The thing is that we are here to receive this. If you are pushing it away, you're pushing yourself away. You're denying parts of yourself, which I think is sad, because you are lovable, you are beautiful, you are worth to be loved. So when this comes in your life, and when this happens, allow it in and feel maybe the pain, feel maybe the deep, deep longing, the deep desire that you really would love this, but just gently, maybe just allow yourself to feel this. Because because that's what happens. We close ourselves, and then we close ourselves off from this trueness, this true, pure, loving experience, or just love. And when you reject the things that happen in your life, intimate situations, you reject yourself, you reject your authentic openness. And then the doors close, and you start to feel more this contracted energy. You start to feel more pain, the suffering of the illusion that you are separate. Because you're not. You're not separate. You're perfectly whole and complete, whether you are in a loving relationship or not. And when you exclude yourself in daily life from whatever situations you're having at your work, or on the street, or in the bus, or in the car, or in the traffic, or in the supermarket, there are all these possibilities to connect, and to especially to open up. You don't even have to actively be involved, but if you inactively just energetically open up, then lots of things may be felt, may be experience subtle energies that actually you feel like, and not immediately with the desire of, I want something out of this, because that's what happens, but more like, oh, what's going on? Yeah, there is somebody there in line of in the standing in line at the in the supermarket, waiting to pay your shopping. Maybe you sense something, or you feel something, but instead of like, oh, is this her or is this him? Oh, that's a cute, or that's a handsome person. It's more like, what happens? Where does it touch me? Is it just okay to let it be without the expectation? And just to see that there lies the possibility of loving life, loving yourself, and also loving others. Completely forgot my cold tea. How are you, Pavel? Are you still there? Here? I'm missing Anne and Annabelle. Okay, well, we're nearly done. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. I am fantastic. Thank you. That's what Bravo says. Oh, good. I'm very glad. Okay then. Well, that was a fantastic live streaming. I think this is it for tonight. Good topic. Yes, thank you, Bravo. If you have any more suggestions for topics, you or anybody else, write them to me, let me know. Send me a message, send me an email, whatever, let me know. I can talk about it here. Whatever it is I speak about, it will usually always be connected with the core of life's essence. So you can I always connect it to that. Because it's all about life. To me, is all about being part of life, but also to self-reflect in whatever is going on. So yeah, this was really nice. I really enjoyed it. Next Friday there is a group session that you can be part of from 7 until 9 p.m. Dutch time. From 8 until 9, I mean. And then write me an email if you want to be part of this. And then next week, Tuesday, there's another live stream. So any suggestions are very welcome. And see you soon. Bye bye.